Hi, I'm Julia Charlton, Head of Multi-Channel Marketing at Sagittarius. We're a digital experience agency, and I've spent about a decade of my career working in client management with some lovely brands and even lovelier clients. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. So what is a client manager? You might recognise them by one of the other many different names they go by. Client relationship manager, client services manager, account manager, client partner, customer success manager, or even suits. It was a very male-dominated career path back in the day. But naming conventions aside, the role is ultimately designed to do one thing: to sell. Now, the word sales has a notoriously bad reputation, I know, so before you immediately write off a career in client management, let me give you some context on what I really mean by the word selling. First bit of context: 70% of the revenue an agency makes comes from their existing clients. And that is where the client manager focuses their effort, on customers they already have a relationship with. So we're not talking about cold calling and getting hung up on multiple times a day. 70% of revenue, I think we'll all agree, is pretty significant. It's the client manager's job to be the guardian of that revenue, protecting it and growing it over time. If 70% of an agency's revenue comes from their existing clients, it should be quite scary then that research shows about 71% of clients are indifferent to, or else actively looking to replace, their agency. Today there are about 7,000 digital agencies in the UK alone, so it can be all too easy for your agency to be replaced and forgotten about. So how do we stop this from happening? We have client managers who build relationships. When we focus not on selling, but on building relationships with our clients, on listening to them, not talking at them, on truly understanding, we become trusted and valuable partners. The client manager is the captain of the account, a leader that gives direction and navigates the agency towards whatever success looks like for their clients. They represent the client when they are at the agency, and the agency when they are with the client. I'll stop talking in riddles and tell you a bit about what a client manager actually does in real terms. Their first job is to understand, to onboard everything there is to know about the client's business, their products, their market, their competition. If anyone in the agency asks a question about that client's brand, the client manager should know the answer. They are responsible for taking briefs from the client and for taking those briefs back to the agency and sharing them with the team. And this isn't just the transfer of a piece of paper. It's a process of understanding, of listening, of asking the right questions so that you really do get what the client needs, and sharing those back with the agency in a way that's designed to inspire. So how do we inspire? If you're taking a brief from an ice cream brand, for example, like Baskin-Robbins, take the team off-site to one of their ice cream parlours, buy some ice cream and discuss the client's challenge. If it's a brief for a cruise brand like Saga or Cunard Cruises, arrange for your client to bring the team on board the ship for a briefing. In other words, immerse the team in the brand, the product and the challenge so that they can really understand it and find creative ways to achieve the right solution. You're responsible for presenting the agency's work to the client, for making sure that you understand it, for selling it to your client and for getting their buy-in. It's your job to ensure that the agency delivers what you sold, that the final product is true to the original idea. And it's your job to ensure a laser focus on the client's KPIs. Are you achieving what you originally set out to achieve? And throughout that whole process, your role is to protect the client's needs and the integrity of the agency's work and creative vision. Remember these guys? If you've done a great job, your client will see your agency as a safe pair of trusted hands, an agency that's going to be an extension of their own team and enable them to deliver their business ambitions. One successful project will lead to years of successful projects, and you will have done your job of protecting and growing revenue for your agency. I'm going to share with you the 6 words that were pivotal in my career as a client manager. If there's one thing you take away from this talk today and your understanding about what a client manager really does, it's this. Make Rachel your new best friend. At the start of my career, I had the really good fortune to work under lots of talented client managers. Each one of them had their own style. My first agency took a very direct and sales-focused approach to client management. Before any meeting, we would decide what we wanted to sell the client, and our objective was to leave having closed those deals. Often, we would actually leave cap in hand, feeling deflated and complaining that the client just didn't get it. Fast forward to my next agency, and I learned an important lesson that has served me well. I was handed my first solo account, a global tech brand. It's a big moment for any client manager. Our current client was leaving and her replacement was due to start. My line manager said to me, "Rachel starts this week. Make her your new best friend." I considered those words for a moment and decided I'd take them literally. Rachel and I talked on the phone daily. We had regular face-to-face meetings. I attended their industry events with her. We went out for lunch, coffees. We celebrated her birthdays. We formed a friendship. As her client manager, I understood her business challenge, her industry, her products, and her competitors. But I also understood her personal career ambitions, her frustrations, her likes and dislikes. I could preempt her reaction to our work, what I knew she would love and what she would absolutely hate, before we ever presented it to her. This meant that 99% of the time she was thrilled by the work we were doing. And when she wasn't, she felt very comfortable explaining to me where we'd missed the mark. In the year that followed, Rachel championed our agency within her business and trusted us with more and more projects, put her faith in our ideas and how we proposed to drive the results she needed. That year, the account generated 5 times more revenue for the agency. When I moved to my next agency, Rachel moved the account with me. When she left the brand and moved to another brand, she phoned me up and asked if we'd work with her again. If you're doing your job as a client manager right, that's really not uncommon in this industry. The reason? People buy people. And in order for people to buy into you as their client manager, you need to focus not on selling, but on building a relationship. I learned that being a good client manager means reframing what we mean by selling. By focusing on building a relationship, by not talking at my clients, but by listening to them, I got better results. And what's more, I've really enjoyed my job and I've made friendships for life. So sales doesn't have to be the dirty word we all thought it was. Who knew? Who then makes a great client manager? You'll be a people person, someone who loves spending time getting to know others, has a genuine interest in understanding them and listening to them. You'll be service-driven, willing to do everything it takes to make your client's experience a good one, to make sure that they're delighted by the work you deliver, the service you offer, and the results you achieve for their business and their careers. You'll be strategic. You'll make it your business to understand the client's business, market, competition, products. You see the big picture and you understand how you can help your clients to win in it. You'll be proactive. You'll take your ideas to the client. You won't wait for the client to come to you and ask. A leader, naturally inclined to take the lead and guide your agency and the client towards your goal. A problem solver, someone who's able to put out fires and navigate changes, to keep work and relationships on track. And importantly, you're someone who is empathetic to the needs of your client and their business and genuinely care about making them a reality. If that sounds like you, then there are lots of ways you might go about starting a career in client management. You could start by studying a marketing or advertising related course at university. That can always be a great place to start. Not all client managers have a marketing or advertising specific qualification. That's not really a requirement of the job, but from experience, that can be really, really helpful in making you a subject matter expert, that can lead your clients and a trusted voice to them. So degree is your first choice. Secondly, you can look at another relevant qualification within the Chartered Institute of Marketing, the IDM, or the DMI, for example. But if years of study isn't for you and you're keen to get stuck in with real-world experience straight away, a great way to start your career is through work experience or internships. A lot of agencies offer these, and the real benefit of an internship is that some agencies will give you the opportunity to spend time working in each of their different departments. That means you can really get a feel for what you enjoy and where you excel. If you impress them, those internships can often turn into permanent job offers that kickstart your career. So I hope that's given you a good idea of what a client manager does and perhaps inspired you to consider a career in that area. Any questions?